I'm so excited to have my first guest for Pave Interviews. My first guest is my daughter. Her name is Coylin, and she is here to just spend some time with us and talk through Pave the Way. So Coylin, go ahead and introduce yourself to the Me Timers.
Okay, my name is Coylin, but I like the name Corey with a K. I'm 29 years old. I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, Kaylee and Caleb, also at K's. Last year, I went through a hard time because I am a recovering addict. So that's me, I guess.
That's you guess?
Yeah.
So I want to start Pave Interviews with a mental victory vibe celebration. And that's just celebrating something that you've done, some type of activity you've done for yourself, or just an achievement or an accomplishment. What would you say would be your mental victory vibe celebration today?
I guess my sobriety, I celebrate that every day.
You celebrate your sobriety every day?
Yeah.
So why do you celebrate it every day? Tell us more about that.
Because every day I work to get it.
Every day
you have to keep it. It's literally second, minute by minute, day by day. You have to take it one step at a time. So you have to thank yourself because it takes a lot.
So it's expressing gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
You're expressing gratitude.
Yeah.
How would you define self-love for yourself? I know you just mentioned that every day you celebrate sobriety, but how else would you define self-love for yourself?
I guess my appearance. I take a lot of time to make sure I look okay at all times, so I can feel better about myself, from the inside out. So if my sobriety is like my inside, that's like my heart and soul, so I try to make sure the outside matches the inside.
Okay, I like that. I like that she get that from her mom.
God.
Just so she get it from her. So I want to really go through, talk through a lot of different things, and I don't know where this conversation is going to take us. I really don't. I had a couple ideas, but the first thing that I want to ask you is, what have you done to create or establish better habits for yourself and better beliefs for yourself? Because you started off, you came right at the gate talking about your sobriety. So I wanted you to, how do you go about practicing that epic belief system to just keep you on that right path?
I will wake up and I just look at my son.
And when you look at him, what do you see?
Hope.
Hope is important. Tell me about that. See, a lot of people don't know, like we're sitting here, we smiling. I'm smiling today, but it was not always a smile for Coylin and I. We went through a rough time, and especially with her addiction, it was hard for me to accept as well. I went through a period of just shame and embarrassment and guilt at the same time, and it was me having to learn as her mom to meet her where she is and to help her. But I also had to forgive myself because I felt like, what didn't I do to make it better? Why did this happen in my family? So to hear her talk about hope, and how does that, like, what do you mean? Like, let's get into it.
Well, I just wake up and I look at Caleb, so it makes me get out of bed, it makes me actually put my foot on the ground. And then I don't have Kaylee all the time, but when I am with her, I try to do everything I can and let her know that she can count on me. Just letting my kids know, I don't really care about outsiders anymore. I used to really care about how everybody else looked at me. So I had to be this perfect person, have this perfect appearance. But the world's not even perfect. So, I don't have to put on that mask all the time. I'm just me. And I'm learning as I get older just to keep being me and be loyal to me. Because if you're loyal to you, no one else can fool you.
Yes. Because you have you forgiven yourself in order to be able to just say, hey, it doesn't matter what's happening in the outside world or how other people see me. I accept who I am.
That's kind of a hit or miss. It depends what day of the week it is, you know.
So every day you have to work at, get up and try it.
Yeah, it's like it's every day you forgive something different because you don't forget or remember everything overnight. Like, you know, like I was just telling you about when I had my teeth taken out today, and I was put under, and I woke up and I just freaked out because I thought I was in a coma again. Because I was like, damn, how did I get back here, you know? And when I saw Barbara, I felt better because I forgot that I was just there for my teeth, you know? So little things like that. Hospital for months because when I woke up
How did you
last
get
year,
there?
well, from just overworking, not taking care of myself, just partying all the time. Even though like my kids had nice clothes and a place to stay, I wasn't always the best mom. So I had to, you know, I went into a coma that last time, and that was what, for 5 weeks?
Yeah, you were actually in a coma for 5 weeks. Why did you lean into drug use?
Honestly, at first it was just because it's fun. You know, that's a fun way to go out and have a good time. But over the time, you realize like when when you're doing the drugs and you're not so high anymore, it's stuff in your head that you just want to get away from. And I just wasn't ready to deal with it.
So you were running.
Yeah.
Were you running from memories of the past, people, or were you running from yourself?
Everything. Because people and the past and yourself all have an impact on your current of how you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like being around people. I was like, to be honest, like I was just telling my girlfriend and my fiance in the car, like this is the most we've ever communicated. So it's nice. It's sometimes it's uncomfortable because I don't know where it's gonna go, but it's nice because it's what I fought for so long.
And let's talk about that. When she talks, what she's saying is we weren't talking. We weren't on speaking terms, and when we were, I was so mad at her for using drugs that we yelled at each other.
Yeah,
we didn't see each other for many, many years, and by that I don't mean like just not seeing each other as in being in the same room. I mean, even when we were in the same room, we still didn't see each other. All I saw were mistakes.
Yeah,
and all you saw was me judging you.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to be judged, but sometimes being judged is how you see the truth.
You think so?
Sometimes it's a time and a place. Like,
I don't think so. I think that me judging you during that time was the worst thing I could do while you were hurting. By judging you instead of saying, hey, how can I help you to get better?
So even in that case, we had to learn to adapt to the world. You taught us always that this is how it is, you know. And I'm grateful for that. But also at that time when we weren't talking, I was feeling judged. It also helped me figure out why I love me.
Why do you love me?
Because I'm a good person and I have a big heart and I love helping people. And even though I had an addiction, I still help people now. And I want to help people in my future.
Why did you agree to do the first paid interview? Aside from the fact that I would have pressured the hell out of you anyway until you said yes.
Because I know it's people out there that probably are just like me.
I think it's a lot of people out there, a lot of mother and daughters who have had rough times, who are probably not speaking right now.
Yeah.
Who have probably
why
had.
I want to work hard for my daughter. And right now, that's what motivates me to be the lion that I am.
Lion.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people call me actually. A lion because I go straight for the jugular.
You go straight for. Wait a minute, as in lion predator going in straight for the kill?
If you're coming at me wrong or my kids, yes. If I feel like I walk into every room, and that could be something from my past that I've just held on to, but I walk into every room with my guard up, with me ready. Because you never know where it's going to take you.
I used to show up like that. I did that a lot while y'all were kids. You know, I felt like I had to show up like a Cat 3 hurricane
That's
to
why I
get it
learned
done.
it, and I've perfected it.
But it's not the best way to be.
Not all the time, but nowadays in this world, and when people see weakness, they devour you.
Not necessarily. I don't think that seeing weakness is a form of being devoured. I think that weakness and strength equal vulnerability, and it takes a certain degree of willingness to be vulnerable to get to move forward.
Well, I'm still learning that. I feel like I backtracked lately because I've started over again. I just refuse to ever let my son or daughter down again. That's the whole reason I'm here, is that I asked him to give me a chance to just make it to that goal. I haven't made it yet.
So you're talking about a great point. You said that's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
You shared that story.
Because when I was over my body, and they were giving me baths, taking my blood, talking to you, you know, I heard how mad you were. And one day, God came next to me, and he asked, what do you want to do? And I said, what do you mean? You know, I want to go back. And he's like, why would I bring you back just to come back here? You know, so I had to make a decision, and I promised him that if he let me be with my kids again, I would do right, and I would get my stuff together. I would get a career. I would make sure I leave a legacy. You know, my fear is that I won't have enough time, because I'm 29, you know.
So let's talk about that. You don't feel like you're successful now?
No.
Well, let me clarify that. Let's speak on it. Let's
I'm
speak
not
on it.
successful.
I think you are. Let me tell you why. And it's based on my definition of success, not celebrity success, not financial success, not that, but the success of knowing that you wanted to live this life.
Yeah.
And you're doing everything that you possibly can to live this life in the here and now with the 2 babies in tow and a fiance. So, you know, so there is success.
Yeah.
Because 3 years ago, did you see yourself like walking into this life of fiance, babies, building a life with someone, seeing your future with someone?
Not in the exact way, but I had hoped. But, you know, with growing up with you and going to school and stuff, I was always good at it. So I know I should have went. That's always been a regret of mine, you know, not going to school.
Not going to college?
To school.
Well, Paula, let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. So I went to school and I did all of those things so that I could provide for you, so you guys wouldn't go hungry. Like, the last thing I wanted was for my kids to say, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And we open the refrigerator and there's nothing there. So I thought the best way for me to do that was to get an education, and so I can get a job that provides for my kids. But it was in no way to say that that's what you had to do.
I know, but I went, instead of going right, I went left. You already know that. Like, I decided to learn how to live in the streets. In fact, I chose it. That's the part that pisses me off. You know what I mean?
Have you forgiven yourself for making that choice?
I'm not really sure. Everybody asks that, but I'm not mad at myself, but I'm harder on myself.
Well, I really wish you would.
I mean, I don't know. It's just something that is going to take time until I feel like I'm where I need to be mentally and financially. Then my time will come. But right now, I'm just in the middle.
If it was another young lady that walked through the door right now, 27 years old, in her 20s, got kids, and feeling of desperation because she felt like she was not where she was supposed to be. She didn't know how to accept that she will be okay and that this is just a temporary season. What would you say to her to make her feel to let her know that she's worthy?
I would tell you to just keep trying. Like I said, I was always trying to be what everybody wanted me to be. So I had to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. But at the same time, I would just what made me be okay and start loving me
Yeah.
was just realizing what I want and what makes
You know,
me.
what other advice would you give your younger self?
Um, just to be loyal to yourself. Like when I say loyal, I mean like stick to your guns if you believe something. Believe in yourself even if people surrounding you don't. And I would just soak up all the knowledge from your sisters or aunts and uncles and really take it in, because most of the time you're going to experience it. Everything that I was told not to do, I actually went through.
You know, I really enjoy having you on. I know that it's not always been easy for us. Our relationship has been very turbulent. It's been on and off. And that we always haven't had the best relationship. I feel like that could definitely go down like a generational curse where it just goes on and on and on and on. And like I've told you before, is I don't want that. So I'm definitely gonna fix me, and I feel like we've been working on it. We've been working on it a lot, but I want you to know that I asked you on here first and before I asked anybody else, because I want you to know that you are important to me.
Thanks.
And that I love you. And that I didn't stop loving you when I was mad at you. But I didn't know the best way to handle things. And like you had to learn about self-love and self-forgiveness, I also had to learn. And I feel like the ultimate self-forgiveness that I could give myself is showering you with the love that you felt like you never had.